Collective gang. What it do, you guys? It's your girl, Empress 777 here today with a general message for my beautiful collective soul family, my beautiful collective gang. I hope you guys are doing super fantastic. I most certainly am. Holy angels and spirit guides, please come through. Give us exactly what it is that we need to know in addition to what is already shown for us. It's going to be for any zodiac sign, you guys, okay? Absolutely any zodiac sign. We are here as a large collective. Please keep in mind that the messages are in fact general. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't force anything to fit. Use your own intuition and discernment to guide you towards what's here for you today, and then leave the rest for whoever it might be here for. I hope y'all are doing well. I most certainly am. Y'all take a moment and click that like button. Okay, tap in the comments. Let me know what set you're repping. Put your zodiac signs down below so I know who's in the house. Put your birthdays down there as well, or whatever you want to add to the reading. Whatever you got to say. Say whatever you want down there in them comments, okay? I'd love to see you all conversing with one another down there as well. Last but certainly not least, if you have not made it official yet, please consider it. Consider joining the family. Consider joining the gang. We would love to have you. You can do so by smashing that subscribe button. You'll also want to hit that notification bell because that's going to let you know when I upload, okay? So don't forget to do that. Now, let's go ahead and jump in, y'all. What a very interesting message we have ahead of us. Let's start out with the very first card that decided to make an appearance, which kind of caught my attention. I'm not going to lie. It really did, okay? It piqued my interest. And I feel like that's how your energy might be coming off. Just kind of interested, but not really too pressed. Don't think you can't be replaced. And then we have nah. Yeah, like don't think you can't be replaced. This is somebody who definitely propped themselves up on a pedestal. I'm hearing this energy in two different ways. Because on the other side of that, right, this is almost like a double-sided coin, this card. That's what they're saying. Because I definitely heard, don't think you can't be replaced, meaning that this is the energy that this person wanted you to feel. Like they wanted you to feel as if you needed to walk on eggshells, or as if you needed to overfeed their ego or really lean into this connection, this relationship. You needed to lean into it super duper heavy, a lot more than they did, okay, in order to keep them, or in order to, I'm hearing like compete. What? This would not be something that is a surprise to you. The fact that this person may have been seeing other people or trying to pit you against other individuals, even if those other people were not there. Even if they didn't really exist, this person wanted you to think that they had others on the roster. But then on the flip side of that coin, I'm hearing that's going to be the energy that this person will be feeling here in the recent or near future. Don't think you can't be replaced. And I almost hear the nah as this person answering their own question. Because there's some sort of, there's confusion here, okay? There's confusion in the mist. This is somebody who has always been sure of themselves, and they are always quite sure of people that they go after and or pursue, or people that they want to convince to pursue them. They're always very sure of it. But you have them up in their head. So they're almost answering their own question, hoping that that's the correct answer, right? Like, yeah, Empress's collective won't replace me, right? Nah, I can't be replaced, baby. And the reason why they would have been so sure of that, or at least trying to lean into that, answering their own question so heavily, is because even if you didn't try, there's something about your approach. There's something about the way you made this person feel. It's something about the way that you looked at them. It's something about, maybe it's something that you did for them. For some of you, this could be a gift that you gave to them, a date that you planned for them, a night, a special night that the two of you spent together, or just a very deep or vulnerable conversation that you would have had with this person to make them feel really special. And it's not that you didn't want this person to feel special, but I don't get that you had any idea that it would have been feeding their ego to the capacity that it was. So they didn't feel like they could be replaced. But I feel like something about your energy or just the way that you're moving either now or here in the near future has them feeling like they can't read you anymore. Like they had a good hold over you, or they had an idea. Right? They had an idea of who you were. They feel like they had you mapped out. They took enough notes, right? Like they could read you inside out, every page, cover to cover. And now they feel like they don't even have access to the book at some point. Yeah, it's becoming a lot of work. Now, there is some very spiritual energy attached to this connection, whoever this person is. It doesn't matter how far you've gotten with them, you guys, because that's going to be different for all of you. How long you've known this person or how far the two of you have gotten is going to be different for all of you. So just take what resonates, of course. But the reason why I feel such a strong spiritual tie here is because of some kind of past life energy. And this is why I say that. We have this card that has shown for us, right? Which suggests that there's some kind of a test from the universe, but I don't feel like this is your test. I feel like you are the test. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of you could feel like you're experiencing some form of a test from the universe to some extent, which could be the case, but I don't feel that for the large majority of you. The way that I heard this when it popped out, right? Especially with this word changed being underlined. This is somebody that you have known in previous lifetimes. You have. The both of you have known each other. They're in for the shock of a lifetime in this lifetime. They have failed the test. Every time the two of you have crossed paths in previous lifetimes, this person has done the same shit. They've always leaned into their ego. They've always leaned into being able to, I want to say, be calculated with people, right? Take notes on people. They've always been able to lean into being able to read people easily and being able to move accordingly because of that. But this almost feels like rug being pulled from under them type of energy, right? We have some screaming coming along. Really trying to get your attention. This is how I see this. Like, hello, the fuck? Don't you see me standing here? Don't you see me texting you? Don't you see me calling you? Don't you see me wanting to speak with you? Don't you see me? Don't you hear me? Don't you care? So really trying to get your attention or doing things to get attention. It's definitely giving attention whoremonger. They've never had to fight for anyone's attention. And most certainly not yours. So they're in for the shock and surprise of a lifetime. All pun intended. Every other lifetime prior to this, you've given this person several chances. I feel like that time has run out. There's a big surprise on its way. And I feel like it's not just a surprise for this person. You may even surprise your damn self with the way that you are going to be handling this. And it is because of that past life energy. Now, I don't feel like it's going to feel forced. I feel as if the way that you move with this person moving forward will feel very natural, but there's still this like sort of energy that suggests that you're going to be surprising yourself with the way that you handle this person. Very confident. Perhaps some of you will end up replacing this person before the two of you can even get off the ground. Perhaps it will be a plot twist like a motherfucker for some of you, where this person thought that they had you on some kind of a leash by trying to make you feel jealous about whoever they might be seeing on the side, even though there wasn't anybody over there, only to come to find out that you were actually seeing other people, or that you're the one who actually had others interested in you, right? That they weren't as prepared as they thought they were to be able to replace you if things did go awry, yet you were. They're not used to people just being able to get over them or walk away from them. A test from the universe have you changed. So I do feel like you were gifted to this person in this lifetime to give them a chance to have a do-over. And I don't feel like you're going to be walking away from this. I'm hearing the song, I guess it's The Fray. When a heart breaks, it don't break even. This person is going to be getting the brunt of the heavy lifting and emotional turmoil when things do inevitably come to some form of a separation. We have 3 question marks here, right? Where the divine, the universe is asking, have you grown the fuck up yet? Have you changed yet? Have you learned, right? Have you learned this lesson? We've given you, Empress's Collective, time and time again, lifetime after lifetime. Are you still on the same old bullshit? And if you are, then this is the death of the ego. Look at this. We have holding on at the bottom of the deck, right? So this is about holding on to something that feels heavy, right? Something that is outdated. And I feel like this is this person's ego, the energy that their ego shows up as. This could be something that you've already clocked about this person a long time ago, which is why it doesn't feel as forced on your end to just move on or go on your own way. Hello, don't I deserve closure? It's almost like you removed your energy, or you backed away peacefully. There was no fight. There was no push and pull. There was no tug of war. There was no arguments, right? There was no, for some of you, there wasn't even a conversation. This is why this person would be trying so heavily to get your attention. Are you ignoring them? Screaming at the top of their lungs. Don't I deserve closure too? Yeah. So it's like they feel like you got closure without even speaking to them, or like you're moving on without even having a conversation, which will feel quite surprising to this person. It doesn't necessarily have to be because the two of you have had so many cycles in this lifetime, because like I said, this is a repetitive cycle from prior lifetimes to now. This would also explain this heavy pull or magnetic attraction you would have felt towards this person. Blinded by their own ego. This is why they weren't able to see the red flags, or they weren't able to see what was right in front of their face, which was you pulling away, or which was you becoming more distant. Okay. I almost feel like they don't even know the brick wall is in front of them until they fucking hit it head first. And now they want to act surprised that they can't get a hold of you, or that you're not interested in going on a date or talking. You might be curious as to why the universe would have kept giving this person so many chances, at least 3, with these 3 question marks here. It's definitely giving soulmate energy for sure, but it would be a karmic soulmate, somebody who's holding on to their ego. You were gifted to them. That's what I heard, a gift. It's not that they would not have still had to learn the lessons that were required to remove the ego, but I feel like it's going to be more painful now, right? This was a gift to allow this person to have growth through lessons without the growing pains. Not painless, but just a little less brutal than what I feel they're coming forward with now, which is why the closure is being rejected, right? Like they're not allowed to get close to you anymore. At some point, they won't be able to. You will block them, or there will be some form of a invisible block or blockage, energetic blockage. I feel like you're moving on fast, or they will feel like you're moving on fast. See, we have damaged. Toxicity, emotional distress, unhealed wounds. Yep. This could have been easily salvaged. Like this person could have easily stepped into this next cycle, and the two of you would have had a beautiful chance at building something quite solid. But there's a fear of their own wounds here with this damage card. The damage was already done, but this person didn't want to unpack it. It was too much. It's too stressful. So without unpacking this pain, these unhealed wounds, or this toxic energy subconsciously, without unpacking that, they were only left to operate out of this, right? When you approach life, connections, relationships, and everything that is within this 3D by way of your ego, it doesn't allow for you to see things clearly. You're not even operating in the same realm, okay, or dynamic as everyone else. And this is giving inflated ego, you see? And it is something that always needs to be fed. But because the ego itself is an illusion, it needs to be fed with lies, right? Like, it needs to be fed with only the things that it values. It's not even real. The ego is not real, right? It doesn't allow you to exist in reality with everybody else. So they were on a whole nother dimension in this entire connection. And this is also why they would be so surprised with the way that things are going. I wish I could read your mind. Once they hit this brick wall, because they're going to hit some kind of a wall when it comes to you, this connection and everything else. The ego is going to take a pretty big hit. And for a great majority of you, I feel like it's going to be another person or people. Okay, this could be multiple people. Multiple people that you're seeing, dating, or someone in particular. This is like the ego will be shattered by way of that. Okay, so we have madness. Losing control, losing their cool. Didn't I say that? Doing things to try and get your attention because you're not feeding into the bullshit. You're not feeding into the ways that would typically work for them are not working with you. So that could be a surprise as well. You're too calm, too cool, too collected. So I wouldn't put it past this person, you guys, to bring some drama. Or at least try to conjure up some form of dramatic exchange, an exchange of energy, right? Like they're desperate now. Their cup, it is dwindling away. They need to be fed. You may say, well, what happened to all of the other bitches that they try to put me in competition with, or all these other dudes that they had on the, on the sidelines that they wanted me to compete with? What about that? It was a lie. It didn't exist. You see? The ego is what made them want to come off as such. And that was a form of manipulation to get you to think that you were in competition with others, but you never really were. Even if there were other people around, they didn't hold a candle to you, is what I'm hearing. A test from the universe. They really fucked this up. We have stormy days. So this is not to toot your horn, guys. This is not me trying to kiss ass, okay? Or to be biased. I'm just reading the cards as they are shown. This stormy days card makes a lot of sense, okay? And whether you were able to feel it before or not, you being this catalyst, right, for change in this person and them having the opportunity to really turn things around for themselves in this lifetime finally, right? They needed to do right by you. They needed to handle this completely different, and they needed to handle you completely different than they've handled you prior. The difference between who you are in this lifetime and who you were in the past lifetimes is I feel like the past lifetime version of you would feed this person's ego. But I don't think that you're doing that this time. They're going to starve. It's going to starve to death is what they're saying. An ego death. This is all symbolism, by the way, right? And analogies. So you were, in a sense, a protective barrier for this person, right? Like this umbrella shielding them. And I almost get this person thinking that, because they were seeing things through the guise of their own ego, they just felt like they was cool to go about life the way that they normally do because of who they are. Not recognizing that it was actually you protecting them from this, right? Stormy days are about hard times, challenges, lessons, right? A testing period, right? So that makes total and perfect sense. That's like a double confirmation right there. If you look at the last phrase on this Stormy Days card, it says a testing period, right? This is not just any test, however. Failing this test is going to affect them for quite some time to come. They will have no choice but to surrender. Okay, this is about surrendering. This is defeat. Throwing in the towel. I almost hear like hitting rock bottom. And it's not that we wish bad or, you know, tough times or toxic shit on people. It's not that. However, this is not somebody who really gave a fuck about how they would affect your life coming in this same way that they have in past lifetimes. And I also feel like this person has been able to use the excuse that hurt people, right? So like this behavior that they exude and the actions that they take and the way that they move, even if it hurts other people, it's sort of like, I don't know any better, right? Like this was done to me and that's why I did it, or this is what happened to me and that's why I have to handle myself this way and that way. And these are all excuses that they've been able to use in the past that has also enabled them to come into this lifetime still on the same fuck shit. So I do feel like this is going to hit them like a ton of bricks, you guys, because like I said, unlike past lifetimes, you're no longer willing to stand in line to feed their ego. You're no longer willing to stand around and wait on them. You're not waiting on them. You're not going to wait for them to pass this test, to learn these lessons, to pick themselves back up, right? You're not waiting. Okay. They're going to have to sit in this shit by themselves. Meanwhile, if they ever do get to the point where they are able to really fully recognize and self-actualize, that's going to be one of the hardest things to date for this person in any lifetime, because this is where the mask will be ripped, or the glasses is what I should say. And they're going to be able to see who you actually were and what the two of you could have actually had. And by that time, they would have already been replaced. For some of you, that's just how I'm seeing it thus far, or so far. They're surprised that you're not leaning into them. I wouldn't even put it past this person to think that maybe you would have chased them, or maybe you would have cared about what they were going through. If they're already experiencing these hard times, please, that's just the beginning. You have a protective barrier around you. You are very well protected in the spiritual realm. And here in this lifetime as well, this person was being provided with that protective barrier because of you. And now that you're nowhere to be found, or now that you're well on your way, this is why they're trying to get your attention, right? They feel like there's an entitlement here. And it is because in the past you would have leaned into this, right? For some of you, this past, it consists of, like I said, the past lifetimes. You're completely different this time. You're surprising this person by the way that you're moving. You're not dealing with their foolishness. You're not about to let them talk to you crazy. You're not about to let them behave crazily. You don't give a fuck if they do lose control, right? Like, you have complete control over yourself. You're not the one crashing out this time. Or you're not feeding into their madness. You're not allowing them to project their energy onto you, right? This damaged energy, you're not allowing them to project that onto you or dump it on you in order to get you into the same frequency or vibration that they are in. You're leaning more into your protective energy, and that's really affecting this person. It's going to affect the way that spirit is seeing how this test has come along, right? They're going to outright fail this fucking test, and it will lead to some form of a downward spiral. Maybe even this person did think in their mind that they could replace you. And they're going to learn very quickly that that is not the case. Even if they try. Okay, nothing will ever be set in stone. Everything will be on rocky ground. They can't really solidify anything of substance. There's no security here at all whatsoever. Everything's in limbo, lots of uncertainty. Everything is unclear. And I do mean everything. Like, this has to do with multiple areas of this person's life. So I wouldn't put it past this person. Like I said, they're going to initially start out trying to get your attention, right? Doing things to try and get your attention. Showing up, popping up, calling you multiple times, doing whatever they think in their mind that will get you on this perpetual string of caring about what's going on with them, or wanting to understand them, or even just wanting to have a conversation with them. They're going to try it. The emptier and emptier this cup becomes, because they need to be fed, and it doesn't matter who they try to replace you with. Nobody can fill their cup. There's nothing of substance there. They can't hold on to anything, okay? The emptier this cup becomes, the more persistent their approach will become, the more madness, the more foolishness, okay? The more attempts. They may even try to surprise you in some ways, right? By pretending that the ego is not there. This surprise energy could come off as like a apology, or trying to take accountability, or some kind of a proposal is what I'm hearing. Don't beat me up. That's what I heard. It don't have to necessarily mean a proposal of marriage, even though it could, right? This is them desperately trying to seal the deal, or desperately trying to get back in your good graces. It is for the sole purpose of trying to get this protective barrier, right? They're not going to tell you about their struggles. They won't be honest about that, because this won't allow them to. But mainly trying to get some intel on where you are at mentally. I almost get a bit of resentment in this person's energy as well, you guys. I'm not going to hold you, okay? Because this fantasy world that they've been able to access with you for multiple lifetimes, okay, it no longer exists, okay? So this familiar spirit, this familiar energy that they felt initially when the two of you connected in this lifetime is no longer there. They don't even fucking know you anymore, right? They don't understand what is actually happening until it's too late, right? They kept giving me the analogy of them driving full speed ahead. The ego will make you feel very arrogant. So it will have you doing shit, feeling like Superman, Superwoman, like you are just immortal. Yeah, immortal. Like you could just do whatever the fuck you want, flying high in the sky. No brakes on that bitch. Windows down. Barely got a quarter tank of gas in that hole. And the ego will have you thinking that there's just free, you know, a free road to drive down. You driving down that bitch 100 miles per hour. You don't even know that the brick wall is there until you hit that bitch. And that's how I'm seeing it. It's like hitting a brick wall, where nothing makes sense anymore, right? Like nothing in their whole life makes sense. The brick wall, it is to symbolize not just this connection, but it is to symbolize this protective barrier that being close proximity to you would have had. It is to symbolize them ignoring all of the red flags and signs that would have been telling them to slow the fuck down, to do this differently, to don't do that, to don't treat them this way, to don't do this, don't go that way, right? Like to not do the certain things that they would have done already. That you don't want to do this again. Choose a different path, bitch. I'm giving you a chance. The ego will have you ignoring all of that. And instead they looked at you as just being way too much work. You asking for too much. You doing too much. Right? Like they have to do way too much just to get in your good graces. Way too much. Way is underlined, right? So they got too big for their britches. That would have had them thinking that they could handle you in certain ways and do certain things to you, and nothing would fucking happen to them. Or that you would be none the wiser. Or that you wasn't going nowhere. All right, we're going to hop over to the extended because I really need to dig in and see where this is all going, even if for the sole purpose of you being fully informed about what all this energy entails so that you can prepare yourself, you know, get suited and booted, okay, or just be informed so that you can move how you need to move for your best interest. Let's see what this person's hopes for the future of this connection is. I need to know that because that will let you know if they're still operating out of this, right? If this has been shattered yet. The ego death is going to happen either way it goes. I just want to know how soon. So knowing their fears and hopes of the future will let you know if they're operating out of their new identity, right? Their higher self, the self that is now broken open, right? That is now going through a transformation and an awakening. I want to know if there's any remorse within that. The remorse portion will let you know, like I said, if they're still operating out of this ego-based energy, if the test, in fact, has been retaken and passed by the time they try to approach you again. I want to know what karma they are set to face. What karmic debt is this person left with? And what karmic debt are they left to pay prior to the transformation being able to be complete? And that's going to be imperative for those of you who find yourself in close proximity for whatever reason to this person, as energy is exchangeable. We will then look at their next steps and their purest intentions behind these next steps. Okay, so what are they going to try and do to fix this, if anything, as well as their intentions, right? Detailed next steps so that you can prepare yourself and be ready. We'll look at the best possible outcome. How will things more than likely go? Is there a way to salvage this, or is this an inevitable done for the remainder of this lifetime? Okay, are they just meant to see this as the one that got away forever? Have they fucked it up for this lifetime and the lifetimes thereafter? Okay. And then we will also look to see what lesson did you need to learn in all of this, which will be why it had to show up, why you needed to be the catalyst to this person's transformation. Upon learning this lesson, what beauty do you have to look forward to? And how can you best set yourself up for success in the next cycle according to the divine? And then we will get right into the new, okay? So who's going to be over there waiting for you? Okay, only the good, only the new. What are the best qualities, the sexiest qualities about this person? What do they find sexiest about you? What's the chemistry like in and out of the bedroom? How will you potentially meet this person, right? We will see why they're single. If there are any, red flags or deal breakers. If there are any there, I want to know. And you'll need to know. And then we will see the potential for union and long-term commitment with the new person. Okay, we will pull time frames for both old and new. And then we will also pull some advice. Okay, so without further ado, click the like button as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm going to put the link for the extended reading down below in the description box. We got a lot to unpack, so let's go.